promised, this is the lesson that we actually create our Heroku deployment and we set up our Postgres. One of the first things that Heroku is going to look for when it tries to run our application is it's going to look in our package.json, which is in the root directory. It's going to go look in the package.json, and it is going to look for a startup script, a start script. Right now, the only script we have is server, because for development, all we've been doing is using NodeMon, so that every time you make a change, then the server automatically starts, so we don't have to stop and start it every time we make a code change. And this script works fine for development purposes, but we need to add a start script so that Heroku knows how to start up the API. And so to do that, we add a start script, and we simply call it start. And it has to be called start. And instead of using NodeMon, we now simply use node and then refer it to index.js. We're going to save that. So now when we deploy to Heroku, Heroku is going to look to this, and it points to this, and then this points to this file, which also lives in the root. Remember how I told you how we separated this simple index file from the server file over here. This index file, its sole purpose was to interact with Heroku. Basically, what I meant by that was the package.json start script is going to point to this file right here. And this is what's going to be the entryway into running our app on Heroku. Okay, so we've made that change. Now we can go to Chrome, and we can go to Heroku.com. Not CM. COM. And I have a couple little test little apps that I'm running here. If you're brand new, you'll have to become a user and set up a username and password and all that. And then when you get done, I think I can just go to the main. No, I guess this is. I think I can not go to apps. I'm thinking see. No, I guess a constant. So once you're in and you've at least created an app or two, this is the screen that you go to. But sign up for Heroku if you haven't done already. Go ahead and put the video on pause and sign up for Heroku. And then once you're all done, then come back and we're going to create a new app. We're going to click on this new button right here, and we're going to see Create New App. We're going to give it a name. So I'm going to call this Node DB tutorial. I got to give it a number so that name isn't taken. This almost like registering a domain name. All right, so I just called my Node DB tutorial 9. That name is available, and this is what our server on Heroku is going to be referred to by. It's going to be like nodedbtutorial9.heroku.com instead of localhost 5000. And then you click Create App. And we get to this screen here. And so on the screen, we are going to, if you have been coding along with me, hopefully you have been connecting your code that you've been following along with me to a GitHub repo, because that is how we're going to deploy. And we're going to do it in such a way that we're going to connect our app to our GitHub repo, and then whenever we make changes to the GitHub repo, it will automatically redeploy on Heroku. Heroku will automatically do that. So anytime we update our master branch on GitHub, Heroku will automatically, behind the scenes, take care of redeploying our app. So if you haven't created a GitHub repo out of the code that we've been doing so far, you can go to my repo and fork and clone it. And let me show you how to do that in case you've not been following. So go to GitHub, and I will also stick this in the lesson notes down below. And let me find the repo first. My repos. Node Express DB tutorial. So I will stick this link, and when you select this link, you have to fork it first and then clone it. So if you wanted to, so you would go to my GitHub repo, to this URL, you would hit fork, and then I'll stick it somewhere for right now, like here. I'll just stick it here because I don't think anything's going on in there right now. And then it'll fork it. And then you can click clone and then copy it. And then clone. And then you would open up a terminal and you would install it. But hopefully you know how to do that. If you don't know how to do that, send me a message in the YouTube notes, and if I need to put together a quick lesson on how to fork, clone, and create a brand new repository, I will do that. But I'm going to assume that you have a GitHub repo all of your own and that you've been following. And so anyway, once you create your new Heroku app and give it a name and you come to the screen, now you're going to click on this GitHub, connect to GitHub. And down here, you're going to have your name, and then you get to select the repo name. And I named the repo, you can do a search. It's like node something, and I'm going to click search. I'll have a couple different things in there, but this is the one. This is the one that we've been using. So node DB tutorial, and I'm going to click connect. And ignore this error for right now, because that's nothing yet. And we want to know what brand. Okay. So right here. So now we're going to deploy from the master branch. You should make all your code changes and things like that to another branch, and then once they've been tested and you feel real solid about them, then you can merge them into the master. So we're going to deploy from our master branch. And this is the button, remember when I said that it will automatically redeploy every time you make an update to master. So we have to click this button right here. Enable automatic deploys. And so now the button turns white. And now down here, all we do is we go down here and say deploy branch. And down here you can see it's building, it's doing its magic. Linking. Takes a few minutes for it to do its thing. Build succeeded. Compressing. And it says your app was successfully deployed. So and you can view it. You can click view. You can also click view up here. Open app. You can click up there. I'll click view down here. View. It should open up a new screen. Application error. So what happened? Why didn't it run? I'll tell you exactly why. Because we made a change to our package.json, but we didn't push up the changes. So our master branch right now, like for instance, if I go to GitHub again and show you what's on our master right now, that start script is not there. And I wanted to show that to you so you could see that it won't run without that startup script. So let me go into this repo right here. And if I look at my master, and this is the master branch, and if I go to my package.json, see, my start script is not in there. And that's why we have this error. So that's why it's really important to have this start script. So we created it, but we have to commit it. So let me do a commit. I use VS Code over here. You can also do your commits on the command line here. I'll just do it for this right now. Git add all, git commit -m, added start script, and git push origin master. There we go. Boom. So now I also wanted to show you, now we made an update to master. If we go back to this tab and we go to overview, we can see that it's building again automatically. See, it's automatically building. You go to Heroku and you go to the overview tab, and you see we just pushed something up to master, and now it's automatically redeploying and doing its build again. Let me shut down this other one. Okay, it says deployed. So now let me click on Open App, and now we have our server startup message, which comes from our code base in our server file, in our index. Our server. I am son of Hal, and I'm always watching. So we have successfully deployed to Heroku, but we have not set up our Postgres. And that is going to be in the very next video. So hopefully you were able to follow along. If not, get your Heroku account opened up, and if you don't have a repo, then get the repo in order so you can do this, and so we can pick it up in the next video.